Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to another GTA content creator video where we're on PC to round off the special best of videos that we've been doing over the last few weeks. First we did the best PS4 tracks and then we did the best Xbox One tracks. Now we're doing the best PC tracks. So again, to explain quickly what this is, we do a live stream every single week where we take community submitted tracks and I play them on the live stream. They get reviewed and I give my thoughts on them. And basically what I've done is go back through the first 28 weeks of doing those live streams on every single platform, and I've chosen my favorite of those tracks that we featured and got them down to a list of 12 tracks. The first one here is Barack Obama, which is a Fort Zancudo track that's quite interesting because it does use certain bridges and crossovers and things like that sort of extend the track in different ways and make it feel very fresh. Really nice track to start us off. But as always, just like we did with the PS4 video and the Xbox One video, if you haven't seen those, feel free to check the playlist, and I'll leave the links to the other videos in the description as well. But just like with those videos, we've got the same format where the first 6 tracks will be proper racing circuits, so standard road circuits. Then we'll have 2 rally off-road style circuits, 2 stunt circuits, and to finish us off we'll have 2 circuits that are in the themed section. So this our second track here, Chaps Racetrack, is actually a track that was it was very close between this and another one that was set around the Grapeseed area to getting in. But I chose this one even though it was less complex. You know, you could have created this route for a track without all the new props, and that's something that I always say makes a track stand out when things are extended. But it's not the be all and end all, as I talked about in the last video for the Xbox One tracks. And this track was just really well made and slightly higher quality than the other track that I was potentially going to feature. So even though the other track had more to it, it kind of overdid it a little bit, and I think the simplicity and the high quality usage of the props on this track made it a little bit better. So you know, it's not always about being extravagant and having brand new areas. Sometimes just using the standard roads and just maximizing how good they can be used in a racing format for a racetrack is enough. And this was just a really nice Grapeseed circuit. So like with the PS4 and the Xbox One tracks, like I said, the live streams always showcase tracks that are a good quality. They're always a very high quality of track that we're even playing, because there's a lot of submissions that never even get to make it onto a live stream, because I have a group of testers who try them out, and those that aren't very good don't even get shown. So even though I've picked 12 of my favourites, that's not to say that there's a lot of tracks that all the other tracks aren't any good. These are just my personal favourites and the ones that I think are the best. But you know, feel free to go back and look at the live streams for PC or any of the other platforms, and you might find some tracks that you like better. Here we are with Copycat GP, which is actually a mix of 2 existing circuits created by other people on PC, and this mixes both of them together very well, and I feel like it utilises the space of Sandy Shores really well. It doesn't just limit itself to the roads, it extends itself out and uses different locations, but it never feels too tight and enclosed. It utilises the space very well, extends the track a little bit in different areas, and it just is a very nice circuit overall, considering that it is in sort of such a small area. So yeah, these are 12 of my favourite tracks that we've done from the live streams. You know, the live streams go PS4, Xbox One, PC every single week, and once we've done these videos, the live streams will be starting back up again. And obviously if you want to submit your circuits to potentially feature in those live streams, you're welcome to do that. There's a link to the form to submit your track down below, and obviously all the links for these tracks are down below in the description as well. But the live streams are going to be continuing. Obviously they're always on Twitch on Wednesdays. I always live stream them there, and then they go back up on YouTube for Sundays. So that's the new format going forward, and I'm going to be doing this same sort of thing again. You know, when we get to sort of week 50 I'll look back at the tracks from week 29 to 50 something, and then make a best of video in probably the same sort of format. So every so often I'll look back at all the tracks that we featured and choose the best, and it can be just a nice reference for people who are new to the series to, you know, immediately get some really high quality tracks, and then if they're interested in more, they can go back and look through all the live streams and have a see if anything, you know, catches their eye. LSIA speed trial here next is just one hell of an airport circuit. I've never seen an airport circuit that is quite like this one. It's, you know, very well propped. It's got a really nice flow, and it's also quite tricky and technical as well. You can do some really great racing on here. Just an amazing creation in the airport, and one of those rare occasions, and we've had it a few times during the live stream, and obviously most of the time it's been on the tracks that we're showcasing in these best of videos, but one of those rare occasions where you play a track on a live stream and you just think, wow, this is so good and this is so much fun, and it's kind of just a revelation that you've discovered it and actually been able to play it. The same sort of thing here with Sky's the Limit. The same idea with that. It starts out as sort of a standard hills circuit, and it does have other areas of the circuit that you would consider to be in a standard hill style format. And a lot of hill circuits like the North Loop, for example, they all have the same sort of thing because the roads around that area are quite limited. You know, they're pretty there isn't an awful lot of variation around there because the roads, whilst being long, are pretty much always used the same way in tracks. But this completely changes the game. You know, it extends it with this bridge section, as you've seen, and then goes into a completely different part of the area in the hills, and then it also winds its way down and has a really lovely moment where you go back on yourself, which would be really nice for some, you know, snapmatic shots and things like that. Just a really nice circuit that extends the track and gives a brand new experience to a hill circuit, and that's exactly the sort of thing that kind of we're looking for with these live streams, and trying to find tracks that really stand out, something that gives a brand new experience or gives an extremely high quality experience to the sort of thing that we're used to. And these tracks, just like on PS4 and just like on Xbox One, are really high quality, high level racing tracks for proper racing. It's like I said, with the PS4 and the Xbox One following exactly the same format as this. We have 6 tracks that are meant for proper racing, clean, regular racing in the game. Then we have the sort of the different tracks later on, but proper racing is the main focus, and some really fantastic creations that we've seen throughout the live streams, and these are ultimately my favorites and my best. But yeah, it's just amazing what people can do and what people can come up with when they're creating tracks, and the level of quality that goes into that with bridges and you know, crossing sections and all this kind of stuff. And it's just amazing that Rockstar have given us the ability to do that with all the new stunt props. The final track of the regular circuit, you could say, is Yellow Jack VIP. Another track that sort of uses different roads that we're not used to using, and just obviously really well made and really well put together. You know, crosses over itself in a few areas, and again, just a really nice circuit that it just gives a fresh view and a fresh experience to what we're normally used to. And that's the sort of thing that, you know, in addition to giving us, in addition to just being well created, tracks need to stand out a little bit more. You know, there could be the same old roads and the same layouts used in tracks. That you know, you see 5-6 different tracks that all use the same sort of layout, so there's no sort of extra imagination into that. But the tracks that we're seeing here are all incredibly well created from a standpoint of not having any issues with checkpoints, not having any issues with props being misaligned. They look fantastic. They drive really well as well. Cause no issues in high level racing or side to side racing. But then in addition to that, they also stand out because they do have these unique aspects that you don't normally see, and those are our 6 our 6 regular circuits. Now it's time for our 2 rally off-road style circuits. First of all is Gran Senora Rally Ring, which is just a really good rally track. It's a nice route. Again, no issues with any of the props or anything like that. It just utilizes the route really well. Doesn't try to overdo it or do too much and ruin the experience, and just allows the map and the road sections that you go on to give you the fun experience when you're on there with rally car. So for anybody who is creating tracks or likes to create tracks, or asks for advice on how to create tracks or wants some ideas, these are the kind of tracks you should look towards. Don't just limit yourself to the PC version of this video as well. Go back and look at the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, because to me all the tracks in these 3 best of videos for each platform are all of equal quality. It's not that one platform is any better than another. So look at all the platforms. Don't just limit yourself to whatever platform that you're on. The same goes for the live streams. You can always get inspiration from what other people are doing on different platforms, and you can look to the tracks that we're seeing in these videos as a general guide. These are the sort of things that the absolute best tracks, at least in my opinion, are doing. You can look at this and see where your track might differ in that respect. Is the prop placement a little bit rough? Is the transitions not quite as smooth? Things like that. Just use other tracks as a baseline to see what works and what doesn't work. And then the most important thing when you're creating your own tracks is testing. You need to be in a racing crew. You need to be getting with a group of people, going over, testing it, making sure it works, and then if something doesn't work, changing it, going back and testing it. And that's what all these tracks have done. It's not as if someone just sat down, created these tracks in an hour, and then that was the end of it. They've gone over multiple hours creating tracks, fine-tuning all various different aspects, getting advanced in the creator, and really making sure and fine-tuning these tracks to make sure that they are a great experience. Our second rally off-road style track is Zancudo Crossing, another really good rally track that utilizes an interesting route. Again, a route that you don't normally see, and then it's extended in different areas by the use of stunt props and things like that. And again, not doing too much, not overdoing it with the stunt props. Sometimes you see some tracks, like the track that I was trying to compare the Chaps racetrack earlier on in the video to. It just overdid it a little bit too much with the stunt props, and that can actually hamper things more than it can, when there's a big chance for curb boosting everywhere and all that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily want to overdo things too much, and then on the other hand, you don't want to just leave it to be plain, because then it's not going to stand out either. So it's finding that balance, and ultimately nobody can tell you that your track is bad or your track is good. There are some objective measures for that of how good they might be in a racing situation, but ultimately you're the one creating it, and it's your vision for a track of what you want the track to be. As long as the track is how you personally want it to be, then fair enough. If nobody else likes it, doesn't really matter too much as long as you like it. But it's all about what you want from your track. Now, we've done our 6 main regular circuits, and we've done our 2 rally circuits. Now we're moving on to our 2 stunt circuits, and like I said, this is the same format that we've had in the previous 2 videos. So these 2 stunt circuits are very good. This one in particular was a huge surprise, because it starts out pretty normally. When you're looking at this track at the moment, it just seems like a standard Blaine County circuit that hasn't been propped very much, and you're thinking, well, what's so special about this? But then you round a corner and you're greeted with this, and that was during the live stream when we first played this. That was one interesting moment, to turn that corner and be greeted with this incredible creation, and then you realize that that was a really great idea, to have just that little bit of normal race. Because you have a little bit of a normal race, you turn a corner, and then you see this and you're transported into an incredible stunt race. All these different colours. The track is called Colour Trip for a good reason. All these different colours that have been uniquely made. You know, you can't just get a stunt track and make stunt pieces, regular stunt pieces, and make some of the things that we see here. A lot of time, a lot of effort's gone into it. You see all the transitions between the tubes are all very, very nicely done, and very similar to the best stunt track I've ever played, which was featured in the Xbox One video. It just works. It works on so many levels, and it's a nice experience to race on, and you can tell that a lot of thought has gone into it. You know, there's a lot of stunt tracks that are a bit rough around the edges. They just have a lot of tubes put together in random locations, and it's expected to work, and sometimes it just doesn't. Whereas things like this, you can tell they've been tested, they've been iterated on, they've been tried out and made sure that they're a nice experience to drive, and this certainly is. So we've had some incredible stunt races, and like I said before, it's a shame that we don't have cross-platform jobs. But when you compare races that, especially the stunt races, obviously I can understand that the regular demographic of GTA might not be interested in proper races like we saw in the first 6 tracks, but when it comes to stunt races, which is obviously the sort of thing that Rockstar is looking to verify, they've obviously only verified 5 stunt races since the new creation tools came out. When you compare the 5 verified stunt races to the 2 creations that we see in this video, Purple and Yellow being another one here that has a little bit of challenge to it, and it's got some loops and jumps and all the kind of stuff that makes a really good stunt race, but executed very, very well. When you compare these, and especially the Xbox One track Walibi that we saw in the previous video, when you compare these tracks that we're seeing in these live streams and in these videos to the Rockstar verified stunt tracks, it's just a night and day difference. You can tell that these have been made with care and attention, whereas the other tracks really haven't. And if Rockstar are looking to verified stunt tracks, these are the ones that they should be looking to, not just randomly created stuff that really has no thought gone into it. It does frustrate me that there are so many good creations out there on all 3 platforms, and we've seen them in the last 3 videos with the best ofs, and just in the live streams in general every single week. And the stuff like that, you know, that's why I had such a meltdown when I saw those verified tracks and we played them on one of the early live streams. It just frustrates me that all of these great creations by these people who are part of the community and really making sure that their tracks are of the highest quality they can possibly be, putting a lot of work and a lot of effort into them, get ignored. But hopefully me including them in these videos at least gives them some plaudits, I guess. You know, maybe being Bruffy verified, which is kind of what this has turned into a little bit, is a little bit more well, a little bit better than being Rockstar verified, given the other kind of things that Rockstar actually verify. But yeah, again, another fantastic stunt race, really, really well. It doesn't try to do too much. It just does what it does very, very well, and it just goes along with all the tracks that we've seen throughout the course of these best of videos and the live streams in general, and just some fantastic creations. So these are the kind of tracks, as I mentioned in the original PS4 video of the best ofs. These are the kind of tracks that I'm gonna probably race more often than others on my live streams. Obviously we've got the content creator live streams that I do where we're playing 7 brand new tracks from every platform every single week. But you know, say on Sunday streams when I just want to have some fun or do some proper racing, these are the kind of tracks that I'm going to use depending on what platform I'm on, because these are the tracks that I think ultimately are the highest quality and the tracks that I really, really enjoy racing on. And like I said, if you want to get some ideas, you can do that from watching the live streams and get involved in a racing community to try and refine your tracks. And obviously if you want to submit your tracks to be potentially played in these live streams, the link is below, as well as a help thread that will explain a little bit more, because there's never a guarantee that your track will be played, but there's also never a guarantee that it won't either. So it's something to keep in mind there. Now, Coming on to our final 2 tracks, these are themed circuits. So themed is more towards, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a stunt race or a rally race. It has a specific theme to it, and it's about how well it executes that theme. And this is a really good stadium circuit. Atomic's Grand Duel circuit, just exactly what I would consider to be the perfect kind of circuit for a Race of Champions style event. So it's a dual circuit, so half of the field is on one side and then half of the field is on the other side, and then you cross over on the same lap and end up doing the other half of the track. So eventually everybody does exactly the same, but you're separated on different parts of the track. And if anybody has watched the Race of Champions, where they do 1v1 events on a similar track like this sort of track will be instantly recognizable. And I think of all the Race of Champions style dual circuits that I've played, this is far and away the best. It doesn't try to do too much, but what it does do is execute what it tries to do very well. And I would love to host some sort of 1v1 Race of Champions style event on that track, because it is a very good stadium Race of Champions style dual circuit. And the final track is Stunt Cross. This I like because it's not a stunt circuit, it's not a rallycross circuit, it's mixing 2 different things together. It's the idea of stunt cross, so a stunt version of rallycross. That's the theme that this track goes for, and it does execute it very well with, you know, a few little tubes, some nice jumps. We got some off-road sections, some tricky sections to navigate, and it's just a fun experience. There is also Stunt Cross 2 and Stunt Cross 3, but I think the original does work the best. But it's just keeping it not too complicated, really doing what it does well. Like that's a common theme for the tracks tonight, and just ultimately creating a fun experience. And that's all people want when it comes to tracks on GTA. Obviously you've got the high quality racing circuits that need to be suitable if you want proper racing events on them, with pit lanes and things like that, and not have props sticking out. But when it comes to things like this, themed circuits, stunt circuits, what you want is something that ultimately is fun to drive, and this is fitting that bill perfectly. So that is the final track of the 36 in total that we've that I've decided are the best 36 across all platforms. Obviously 12 on PS4, 12 on Xbox One, 12 on PC, of the content creator live stream, the first 28 weeks of that, and then we'll do this again maybe in another 28 weeks. But for now, obviously feel free to check out the playlist for more of these, and I'll leave all links down below in the description. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you next time.